From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Afternoon Edition.
And right now in the Afternoon Edition, a new security plan at schools in the North Bay after a recent wave of violence on campus. Good afternoon, I'm Ryan Yamamoto. Officers will now patrol several high schools in Santa Rosa leading up to winter break. Safety has become a big issue. It is now the topic of a school board meeting happening tonight. Sean Chitness is at Montgomery High School where a student was stabbed earlier this year.
Some parents here at Montgomery High School are relieved that school resource officers are back in the district. They tell us that they are also glad that the school board will be taking up the issue tonight at their meeting. The superintendent decided to bring back school resource officers because of increased violence in the district. The number of incidents have spiked over the past several weeks. That includes a student at Santa Rosa High School stabbed by a classmate and a student here at Montgomery High arrested for bringing a knife to campus. All of that in addition to the death of a student who was stabbed after he was accused of attacking another student inside a classroom back in March. Santa Rosa City Schools says it has made a number of changes since March, but also points out there are challenges, including filling certain staff positions and funding constraints while dealing with the rise in gang violence.
We need to have a police on campus. I say, like many schools in Oakland and other places, they put, the little door when it says like the detector or something like that. And say, things like that, it's working for another schools, even, in the worst place. It has to be working. Little by little, we need to make the change.
The School Resource Officer, or SRO, program was in place from 1997 to 2020. For now, the SROs will be at all of the high schools and some middle schools until winter break. Santa Rosa City Schools says it actually had a drop in all disciplinary issues between last year and this year, which includes incidents that are not considered to be violent. The superintendent says she wants to hear other ideas and solutions from the school board tonight at their meeting. But not everyone is in favor of this move. Those that oppose the return of SROs will be wearing black tonight at the school board meeting.
And a judge dismissed a manslaughter charge last month against the student accused of the fatal stabbing in March. The judge ruled that the student who was killed was the aggressor, but the 16-year-old still faces up to 4 years in prison on weapons charges. Developing right now, investigation is underway after a bus crash at UC Santa Cruz. The bus apparently ran off the road last night, slammed into a building. 6 people were hurt. That includes 5 students and an employee. The university says 2 of the victims were taken to the hospital with critical injuries. The other 4 suffered minor injuries. Turning to our weather right now, live look at the Golden Gate Bridge. The fog has rolled out and we are left with clear skies. Beautiful shot there. But we are seeing a chance of rain in the forecast. Let's check in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Boy, was it a foggy start to the morning all throughout the Bay Area. Luckily, around 10 o'clock, that's when the National Weather Service got rid of that dense fog advisory, and we're starting to see a mix of sun and clouds throughout the rest of the day today, with 60s in the forecast down into the Santa Clara Valley, low 60s into the heart of Redwood City, and it's just a little bit cooler, not by much, up into San Francisco and Oakland this afternoon, with light winds along our coastline and upper 50s stretching right back down into Half Moon Bay. For our friends up near Santa Rosa and Petaluma, expect low 60s today, and a big change in the forecast right around the corner. Let me show you what that big change is, because for the past 12 hours, our satellite imagery has been relatively calm. It's not until this weekend where we start to see these storm tracks, which for now are well to the north of us, move their way into our Bay Area. This area of low pressure right here, it's a pretty normal signature during this time of year. It's going to continue to move its way into the Bay Area this weekend into early next week, bringing in more showers as early as Sunday, lasting into the beginning of next work week. We'll keep you updated on those rainfall totals.
And the Supreme Court says it will decide whether or not to restrict access to a key abortion drug. The case concerns mifepristone, and the scope of the Drug and Food Administration's authority is at the center of the dispute. The FDA ruled the drug is safe and effective, but challengers argue the agency did not do enough to study the safety of that drug. The new case could be decided by July. Capitol Hill right now, where President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, arrived this morning after being subpoenaed by the House Oversight Committee, which is leading an impeachment inquiry into his father.
I'm here today to make sure that the House Committee's illegitimate investigations of my family do not proceed on distortions, manipulated evidence, and lies.
Hunter Biden insisted he will only testify in a public hearing, not behind closed doors, as the committee requested, but Republicans are pushing back.
We expect to depose the president's son, and then we will be more than happy to have a public hearing.
Hunter Biden was indicted on tax evasion charges. He also faces gun charges. House Republicans have been investigating whether President Biden improperly benefited from foreign business dealings allegedly involving Hunter and other family members. Republicans in the House plan to vote to formalize the impeachment inquiry of President Biden as early as today. As expected, the Federal Reserve is holding interest rates steady for the third month in a row. That decision comes on the heels of yesterday's inflation report, which showed it's continuing to cool. In fact, the Fed is now projecting inflation to drop faster than expected the next couple of years. Interest rates are still at a 22-year high, but officials say there could be multiple cuts in 2024. So let's take a look and see how Wall Street is reacting to the news about those interest rates. And looking at the Dow right now, a huge spike after that report came out. Right now, it is up 462 points. Live look at SFO now. There's still new concerns this afternoon about airport runways, and researchers say they are sinking fast. Max Darrow on the work to keep them up and running for the future.
Day in and day out, planes take off and touch down at the San Francisco International Airport. The runways send planes off or welcome them to the Bay Area. But according to researchers Oluwaseyi Dasho and Manucher Shirzai of Virginia Tech, those runways are sinking.
So we don't want to imply that there is a danger, that they have to be concerned, but this is just a warning for the future, and that future is not that far.
They'll present their findings this week at the AGU 23 conference put on by the American Geophysical Union. Dasho and his team spent about 7 years surveying infrastructure of 15 coastal U.S. airports using satellite imagery to measure surface elevation. They found the runways at SFO are sinking at a rate of around 10 millimeters a year, or about 0.4 of an inch.
San Francisco International Airport is found to actually have the highest subsidence of the airports we considered.
But he says it isn't happening all at once in an equal manner. It's differential subsidence happening at varying rates along the runways.
It could lead to change of slope. It could lead to curving in and bulging along the runway. And when there's bulging along the runway, it could lead to ponding of water when there's rainfall.
According to the researchers, the shifts are small, but they will add up in the bigger picture. They're hoping their findings will serve as somewhat of an eye-opener for policymakers.
The data that we produce helps policymakers to prioritize where to spend the money, when and how. By prioritizing the infrastructure, we can reduce the vulnerability of the infrastructure to future hazards.
Tackling this problem now will save a lot of costs in the future, and it's important that action is taken on time.
The reason, says Dasho, climate change will continue to impact life and infrastructure in the years to come.
The better we begin to think about how to build resilient infrastructure against climate change, the better.
A spokesperson for SFO told us they haven't had a chance to review the study and weren't ready to comment. However, the spokesperson said their shoreline protection program, being developed to protect SFO from rising sea levels, should keep the airport safe for decades to come and will be completed more than 40 years in advance. Shirzai reiterated the sinking runways pose no imminent threats.
At this moment, everything is safe.
He hopes their research pays off as planes continue to take off and touch down well into the future.
So what is SFO doing about this? The airport proposing a $509 million project to build a new seawall, all to protect the airport from rising sea levels. The plan is under environmental review, but construction could start as early as 2025. And by the way, other Bay Area airports, Oakland and San Jose, were not included in that survey.